Hello guys, welcome to another long video in this channel. You might be wondering, what does Santa, a bottle of wine, and polyester yarn have in common? I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna teach you today how to make a wine case using polyester yarn for you to gift to someone for Christmas. It's simple as that. But before we continue, before I teach you anything, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate your notification bell so you always know when we have a new video, like this video, and after you watch it, you will comment down here so we can engage and share it with everybody you know. Before we continue, let me put the bottle of wine aside and let's talk a little bit about the material. We are going to be using a polyester yarn. This is a 5mm one from a brand called Fields here in Brazil. We're going to use a 6mm crochet hook. I took this leather handle. I'm gonna teach you how to put it on your case. But of course, I will also teach you how to apply one using the same yarn. A pair of scissors, and we'll be using a measuring tape that will appear in the sequence to this video. Let's do it. So first of all, what are we going to do? We are going to measure the circumference of the bottle. We have about 3 inches, okay? So you're going to try to do it at least 3.5 inches because we are going to do a circular base and we are going to continue the body of the case with from the circular base, and so we need some space so we can pull the stitches, okay? So just to check, it's about 3 inches. Let's try to have our circle at about 3.5 inches. So let's start. First thing is we're going to have a magic ring. Remember, I'm gonna wrap the yarn around our 2 fingers. Gonna come here and fish our yarn, okay? And we are going to put 6 single crochets into this magic ring. So let's close this first chain. Doesn't count as a stitch, but let's do it. So 1, 2. It's very tight, okay? 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 single crochets into my magic ring. Let's pull the yarn, the tail, to close our ring. It's okay if we have just this little hole here. It doesn't make any difference. And now what we are going to do, we are going to close our row like this. We're going to insert your hook onto the top of the first stitch like this, okay? Get this hook that was a hook, sorry, this loop that was our last stitch, put it into the hook, pull to the back, okay? It's very firmly closed. And now we are going to be working around these 6 stitches into centered single crochets, okay? So how do we do a center single crochet? We're going to find your stitch here, the center of your stitch, as you can see in this V here. I'm going to do on this first one. You're going to insert your hook into the center of your stitch. This first row is always hard, okay? Then yarn over. hold it so you're not gonna lose this loop. Then we have one loop here, one loop here. Insert your hook into the loop, yarn over, and we have one centered single crochet. And since this second row is going to be an increase row, so we are going to have two center single crochets increases in every single crochet on the first row. So at the end of this row, you are supposed to have 12 single crochets, okay? I'm going to do the second one. It's going to be into the same hole here. As I told you, this first row is hard. Let me pull back, yarn over, and we have two centered single crochets. I'm going to finish this row and meet you here. I finished my second row, and as usual, I created another stitch here. I don't know if you watched our previous video, but that's something that happens when we do this kind of closing. When we close our row this way, we have to be very careful because we can accidentally create an extra stitch. So if you want to preserve the original number, like 6 stitches, then 12 stitches, and so on, I suggest that when you start your magic ring, you put 5 stitches into this ring, and then when you close your row, you're going to create the 6th. In my case, I put 6, and when I close the row, I created a 7th. So now I have 14 single crochets. It's okay, because we're just gonna have 2 extra stitches here, and it's gonna make our work grow a little faster, to be honest. Now, let's close this third row as usual. So I'm gonna insert my hook here, get this loop from front to back, okay? And on this third row, we are going to have 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet increase, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet increase all around the row, obviously always in centered single crochets, okay? I'm gonna do the first piece with you. So insert the hook here. This hook has a rounded head, so it's a little hard to push through the fabric. So, oops, we have to make some more effort. Have the 2 loops onto the hook, yarn over, and we have our first single crochet. Now, let's do our increase. Insert here in the middle. Yeah, pull up a loop, yarn over, 1 and another one into the same stitch. Okay, so we have 1 single crochet, 1 increase. You are going to repeat this all along, and we're gonna meet here to check how big it already is. If it's already 3.5 inches, then we will probably stop. So we finished our third row. Let's check how large it is. 3 inches, okay? It's already 3 inches, but it's too tight, right? And we need some space here to start the body of our wine case. So we are going to do 1 more row, okay? And this time in this last row of this base, we are going to have 1 single crochet stitch increase, 1 single crochet increase, and 2 single crochets. 1 increase, 2 single crochets all around the row. Let me do the first set with you. So let's close our row as usual. Okay, insert the hook here. Okay, so I have the 2 loops onto the hook, yarn over, and we have our first fake single crochet. Let's do one more because this is an increase stitch. So, and then we have our first single crochet increase. Always centered single crochets, okay? Never change that. Now we're gonna have 2 single crochets. 1, 2. And we have 1 increase, 2 single crochets in a centered way. We're going to repeat that all around the row, and we're gonna meet here. So I'm gonna show you how to close this row and how to start the body of our wine case. So we finished our 4th row, and I think it's big enough for us to continue. Let's check. Ah, cool, almost 4 inches. Remember I told you 3.5 inches and up, because as you can see, now there's plenty of room for us to lift the body of our wine case. And speaking of it, let's measure it to know how tall it's going to be. So, something about 8 inches, okay? We're going to work on this body for about 8 inches, because the nice thing is to leave this tip of the bottle so people can see what kind of a beverage we have inside. So, how are we going to do it? We're going to close our row as usual. Same way, okay? But now, we are going to be using this and this, these 2 loops here, okay? To do single crochets all around and start our body. So, how are we going to do the first one? We're going to insert our hook here in this loop. Then we're gonna come here at the back to this loop. We're going to put the loop onto the hook again, yarn over, pull through, and we have our first single crochet. Now, as I told you, we're going to use these 2 back loops here. So, insert the yarn, the hook here and here, yarn over, pull up the loop, yarn over, and we have another single crochet. We're going to repeat this process all around and meet here at the end to decide what stitch we will be using for the body of our wine case. So, I finished the first row of the body of our wine case. I have here 28 single crochets because I had 28 here. If you started with 6, you're going to have 24, right? So now, the stitch that we chose to do our wine case is the puff stitch. If you don't know how to do the puff stitch, I suggest that you check the short that we did last week teaching how to do this stitch. But I'm going to do this with you here. So, we're going to close our row as usual. Get the loop, pull it back. But now, we are going to be using the traditional way. We're going to insert the hook under the 2 loops of the stitch. So in this first one, we're going to insert our hook. I'm going to put the loop back onto the hook, yarn over, pull up, and now we are going to pull this loop a little bit longer because we need some high in our stitch. This is going to count as our first loop, okay? In the traditional puff stitch, we have 4 loops onto the hook, but now we're going to have 3 because this yarn is thicker. So this one is going to count as the first one, yarn over. You're going to insert, pull 2, yarn over, pull 3, yarn over, and pull up all of them together, chain 1, and we have our first puff stitch. We're going to skip 1 stitch and do the next one here. So yarn over, insert the hook, fish the yarn, 1, yarn over, 2, yarn over, 3, yarn over, pull through everything, chain 1, and we have 2 puff stitches. You're going to do the same all around the row. Skip 1, puff, skip 1, puff, and so it goes. We're gonna meet here, so I'm gonna show you how to close this row and how to start the next ones. So we're finished with the first row. Look how cute it is. It looks like a bunch of grapes, don't you think? I loved it. Now, guys, I'm gonna show you how you're going to do for the following, for the next rows, okay? Because it's going to be a repetition of the same process. So we finished our first row here. We're gonna come to the top of our first stitch, insert your hook, fish your loop inside as usual, okay? A little too big. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to use this space between puffs to create the next puff on the following row, okay? We're going to do this now. So this one, we're going to just close this first row, okay? And this loop is going to count as the first one of our puff, okay? So 1, yarn over, 2, yarn over, 3, yarn over, chain 1. So I have our first puff. Let's do another one. Yarn over, insert here in this space, fish your loop, 1, yarn over, 2, yarn over, 3, yarn over, and chain 1, 2 puffs. And you're going to repeat this all around the row. You're going to close it here and start another row. And now we are going to meet again when we have our 8 inches in the body of our wine case. So guys, finished with the body of the wine case. Let's check how tall it is. 8 inches, that's what we needed. 8 inches there, okay? Of course, when you hold it up like this, I don't have space for my camera, okay? But when you have it, when you hold it up, it's going to give away a little bit, okay? But there's no problem. That's how it works. And it leaves exactly the tip of the bottle. Now, let's remove this bottle from the case. And we are going to close our wine case. Here we are gonna have a row of single crochet. So let's close this row as usual, doing like this. Pull it a little bit. I'm going to insert it here as I was doing before. And we have a fake stitch. Now we are going to use, because now you can see we have the loops of our stitches here. We're going to insert one single crochet into each of these loops until we finish the row. Okay, let me do a couple to show you. So insert here, pull up. We can use this space here, there's no problem. Let me do it again. And so we go, and we are going to meet here for us to finish this row and decide on our next step. So guys, I finished our row of single crochets. I folded my wine case here because I want it all to show in the video. So now for us to finish, we are going to do a last row of slip stitches. Let's do it. So let's close the row as usual. Okay. Now we're going to insert our hook here. Loop on the hook, yarn over, pull up, and now we are going to work on these holes here. Okay, so slip stitch. Remember, we insert, we fish the yarn, and we pull through at once. Don't do it too tight, okay? Otherwise, it's going to be a little hard for you to insert the bottle here. So finish it up, do all the row, and we're gonna meet here so we can finish the body of our wine case. And I will show you how to put this handle here, and also how to make a strap with this yarn. I'll be right back. So we're finished with our last row of slip stitches all around our wine case. And now we're going to close this row. How are we going to do it? First of all, we're going to get this loop and remove the yarn. My yarn was over, so I have another row there. So what are we going to do? We're going to do the invisible closing. We are going to insert our hook here on the first stitch, okay? Fish the yarn through. Then you turn around and you are going to insert your hook onto the back of your work in a way that it comes out in the middle of the last stitch, okay, where this strap of yarn is going out. So fish the yarn back and pull it inside, and you have a perfect stitch. Nobody knows which is the first, which is the last, okay? Now you're going to hide this piece of yarn inside, you know, and then I'll be back to show you how to do the strap. So guys, it's time we put the strap onto our wine case. So first of all, let's measure this leather strap. It's about 16 inches. So 16 inches is going to be the size of the strap we are going to make using the yarn, okay? But first of all, I'm gonna show you how to apply this strap onto the wine case. You're going to choose a place here between the slip stitch and the single crochet rows, okay? could be anywhere. Our finishing was so well done that we don't know exactly where we finished. Now, you're going to hold your strap like this, okay? It's our wine cases upside down. Get your yarn, do a slip knot, okay? And let's leave it here in our left hand or right hand if you are left-handed. First thing, we are going to insert our hook into the ring of our strap, and then you're going to choose somewhere here, insert your hook, then fish your slip knot through this hole. We have it here. Now you're going to insert the hook over the ring somewhere, and you're going to yarn over, pull up the loop, and through the loop you had on the ring. We have our first stitch here. Let's do one more. So now inside the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, outside, yarn over, pull up, and you have a single crochet. Let's do a couple more so we can have a nice finishing. Inside here, yarn over here, outside, yarn over, single crochet. I think one more and we'll be done. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull up, outside, yarn over, and we have, I think we're gonna do one more, okay? I'm not very happy with this part appearing. Let's do the last one. Insert your hook, choose a place here. We have our yarn here, through the loop, insert here, yarn over. Oh, now it's okay. Now we are finished. Let's pull our yarn from inside, and we have a nice finishing here. It's a detail for our strap. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to turn our work from inside out. This was the first strap left from our slip stitch, a slip knot. This is the strap from our last stitch. We're going to insert our hook here, fish our strap, and we are going to move this strap 2 stitches from right to left and this one from left to right until they meet here. Let's do it. Let's start from this side. 1, 2, it's in the middle. Now I'm going to turn it upside down because it's more comfortable for me. I'm going to get the loop here. Opa, sorry, it was out of frame. 1, 2, and then we have the two straps in the middle, and we are going to knot once, twice, and we are going to hide this yarn inside your piece of work, and we have our strap well attached to our wine case. Next video, I'm gonna show you how to do, next part of the video, I'm gonna show you how to do this strap straight from the wine case. So guys, now I'm gonna show you an alternative way to use a strap using the yarn. So, first thing we are going to do, you are going to use the same part as we used to put the leather strap, which is between the slip stitches and the single crochets. First thing, I'm going to insert my hook anywhere here. I'm gonna get my yarn, and I'm gonna do a slip knot. Slip knot here, okay? I'm going to fish my slip knot to the other side. Let me fold my wine case, and we are going to close. And this is going to be our first single crochet. Now we are going to do 3 more along this line. So insert the hook, pull up, 1, insert the hook, 2, and 3. We have 4 single crochets here. Now we're going to flip around our piece, and we're going to do 4 single crochets here. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to use this first one here, 4. Flip around again, 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you are going to do the same process, repeat this process until you have the, let me remember how many inches, the 16 inches we need for our strap to be as long as the leather one. I'll be back with you to show you how to attach the other part to the wine case. So guys, I stopped here. I'm not going to do the 16 inches that I told you to do because, as you know, I have this other strap, the leather strap, and I'm going to be applying it to my wine case the same way we did on the other side later. But if you don't have this strap and you did this one, so you're going to finish this. You're going to do the 16 inches. And if you do your 16 inches, for example, for me, if I had done the 16 inches, I would have 48 rows here. How do we count the rows here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We always have this loop here in the middle, or we can count like 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. If you come to an even number of rows when you do your 40 inches, do one more. Do one row more, okay? The point is for you to finish with this loop on your right hand side. Why? Because now, when we attach the strap to the body of the wine case, we're going to have to do something like this. You're going to come here. For example, it's here, but you're going to fold it like this. And then let me turn it around so you can see it better. We're gonna pull everything to the side, okay? And we have it here, okay? So what are you going to do? You're going to insert your hook from the inside of your wine case. You're going to come out of it like here. Get your yarn this way. Fish the loop into the border, yarn over, and close your stitch. Now, insert your hook on the next space, on the top of your stitch, yarn over, and you are going to do a slip stitch. One more. Slip stitch. And the last one. Slip stitch. And then you're going to cut this piece of yarn. You're going to hide it into your wine case, and your finishing is going to be very similar to the other side where you started. You're going to have a very similar finishing. Of course, this strap isn't enough for carrying the wine around, but let me take it out of here. Let me put the wine here. We could kind of force it, but of course it's not enough to carry it around. But it's just to show you that, of course, if you had done yours, it would be the right size, okay? This kind of wine case, people here in the south of Brazil, they like it a lot because it's a good way to gift a person. It's a good gift wrap, if we can call it like that. People love to get wine bottles in here. Probably they do where you live as well. And it's also nice for you to carry your bottle around if you're going to a party. We know that in many parties you have to take your own drink. So it's a good way to carry your bottle around. And you can also carry other kinds of bottle that fit into this case. Okay? So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Activate your notifications here so you always know when we have a new video. Like this video. Comment down there what you think of what we have just taught you. And share this video with everybody you know. Okay? Thank you very much. See you next video.